In this lesson, we are going to be looking at what happens when we have radicals in the denominator. And luckily, lots of times it'll take care of itself pretty easily, but sometimes we have to do what's called rationalizing it, okay? So first of all, this is what I want you to know. Anything that's out in front can be sort of reduced on its own. So in other words, this is like a 1. So 4 over 1 is 4, okay? Then I want you to think about this as one giant radical. And inside of it, I have a 72 over 6. So I should rewrite this for you so that you can picture this. Anything that's inside a radical can be reduced with inside a radical. So 72 divided by 6, it's still inside a radical, but 72 does divide by 6 evenly. And so we're going to do that and make this be root 12. 72 divided by 6 is 12. And now I can break down that root 12 and make it prime factor it, let's say, and we'll go 2 and 6 and 2 and 3. And so here's your prime factors, okay? And then you have a pair of 2's that get to go on the outside. So I have this 4 that I can't forget about it, and then this pair of 2's that can go on the outside, and then this 3 that's right here doesn't have a buddy, so it has to stay on the inside. And this then becomes 8 root 3. Okay, so that wasn't so bad. Next one, I can do reduce. 54 divided by 6 is just 9. And then root 6 divided by root 2 becomes root 3. And root 3 can't simplify, by the way, so I have to leave it. And then this problem I'm actually going to change. And I want you to instead make this be this. 12 root 5 over 4 root 2. Okay? Here's why I want you to do this. 12 over 4, we know, reduces to 3. But root 5 and root 2, if I have it like this, that doesn't reduce. It doesn't help me get rid of that fraction, so I have to leave this right now as root 5 over root 2. And then I don't know if you remember, but you cannot leave a radical in the denominator. And so the way to get rid of a radical in the denominator is to what's called rationalize it. And in order to rationalize it, if this is the square root of 2 in the denominator, I'm going to multiply it by itself. And if I do that to the bottom, I have to do that to the top also, because root 2 over root 2 is like multiplying by 1, and that's not going to change the value of the problem at all. So now what I have on the top is I have 3 times the square root. I will multiply these two. Root 5 times root 2 would be root 10. And on the bottom, I have root 2 times root 2, which is root 4. And the square root of 4 is just simply 2. Okay? And that's all I can do. Sometimes I'll be able to reduce something now here afterwards, but in this case, 3 over 2 doesn't reduce, and root 10 doesn't break down any farther. And so that would just simply be your answer.